Good morning. Today I'm going to do another conversation with you about best morning routines. Well, why would I keep talking about morning routines today? Best morning routine for genius creativity. You are a genius. I don't know if you want to accept or know that, but because you have divine heritage, like your spirit was created by the creator of the universe, your genealogy, we talk about genealogy, right? And you have fathers and grandfathers and mothers and grandmothers and all that stuff. The pedigree of your spirit is on a single line. Your spirit, creator, God. And, if it's family-oriented there, then God and Mother God, whatever. But that's one line for your pedigree, right? So you are of royal birth, you are of genius capability, and there's no question. But we live in a place here where the things that have to happen around us, bills and kids if we have them, or partners, or business, or illness, or, doubt, self-doubt, and fear and worry crush in on us all the time unless we do something about it. Left to our own devices, the law of entropy seems to take hold. Now, the law of entropy is the second law of thermodynamics, and it says things left of their own accord proceed to the least ordered state. What that means is, bleh. And, the theory there is that eventually the universe turns into a motionless soup after 100 trillion years or whatever. And I've read science fiction books, talking about that gradual and infinite decay. It's not true. The second law of thermodynamics is true, but it doesn't take into account agency and will. And those are unquantifiable things. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. That is just to let you perhaps have a glimmer of hope that you truly are a divine genius being. Now, if you just go there for a minute, just come with me to the place of you being a genius divine being. Just come there with me. So that doesn't change the fact that stuff happens around us. Relationships fall apart, bankruptcies, divorce, we get older, our bodies break. I notice that all the time. I'm now going to go see my doctor and see about getting some arthritis treatments for my lower back and hips. And after all the years of, extreme skiing and falling down a lot and crashing into things and martial arts and competitive stuff and double black belts and all that other stuff, I'm now paying the price. So all that stuff happens to everybody. My eyes, my vision's so bad. It's 2,500 without these special contacts, and we can't even fix it to 2020. All kinds of broken stuff. I'm telling you about mine because I don't know about yours, but you have a pile. Might be money, relationship, support, family, lack of, any of those things. You're still a genius and creative. So let's talk about what that means. And the answer is it means nothing, and it does no good for you at all unless you create from that place. You can know that you're a genius. You can lament your awesome geniusness and say, oh, if it was only X, if this and that were only different. And you can do that till you're dead. Nothing will change forever unless you do something. Even when I had a divine intervention in August of 2007, it's coming up on 16 years here pretty quick. It was a giant wake-up call. And if you want to read the details, absolute impossible divine intervention, stuff happened that can't happen, defying the laws of physics and everything else. It didn't matter unless I accepted the invitation. All that set of events over a period of about 2 weeks or a month, it just woke me up and let me see that there was another possibility. I had to take it and walk through the door and walk down the road and up the path and up the mountain and do all the work. This is an invitation for you. You are infinite and creative. I don't know how to scream it any louder. You right here, right now. I don't care what's going on around you in your life. The question is, are you going to take advantage of it? This whole thing that I've been doing now for months, Road to 50 Million, has borne massive fruit. As of this moment, best I can count, I have reached an audience so far 65 million plus. So I've exceeded my 50 million, and that was only in 6 months. because my goal started on October 14th, and so April 14th, a month ago, was halftime. I'm 1 month into the second half of my game, and I'm already past the goal, so I'm doubling down, going to get to 100 by October. It doesn't happen without the work, without climbing, doing these videos every day and being on a zillion podcasts and, just on and on and on. But that's a choice that I made because I'm committed to the goal. Now, here's how this is for you. Best morning routine to access that genius that you have. Well, the first thing you need, and I need, any of us need, is to say, maybe I can do that. Because if I get up any day and every day and say, someday, maybe, somewhere, but not me, not now, no way, no, 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 then that's what rules. That's what wins. Doctors say, even in the most extreme cases, the patient's attitude is the single largest determinant in recovery, more than meds and treatment and anything else. The attitude. Well, that means there's power in your attitude. One of the things I had to do to fix my long-standing, decades, 35 years of self-loathing, self-sabotage, and being self-destructive, because when those divine interventions happened in August 2007, I was a drug addict, $3,000 a week, cocaine. I was single and had 4 kids living with me. I was broken. I was functioning at a high level in a position that I had, making a lot of money, but I was ruining my life and those around me. I wasn't honest with myself. I wasn't creating anything lasting and worthwhile. And all that happened is I got slapped around enough to wake up and say, you know what, I'm done with this. Well, I'm inviting you to be done with any mediocrity you're settling for. And if you're not settling for mediocrity, good for you. Keep adding good to the world. I'd love to connect. Please reach out. But if you're like most people, right this minute, you're settling for less than you can have. Why? Because of stuff going on around you, because of old habits and thoughts? Okay, that's all right. So now let's get to the core of today's best morning routine. Now, I don't know why God made us that we die every night and we are reborn every morning. That's kind of how I think of it. Yeah, sometimes we dream and we're conscious, and I go to bed meditating and thinking of things, and my subconscious works all night and has ideas in the morning. That's all true, but it just feels kind of like we're gone every night. And we wake up every morning, and that kind of waking up that you do, depending on your habits, it might be a rush of, oh man, I don't want it to be morning yet. I don't want to get up. I got all this crap to do. I used to do that every time I had to get up and go to the airport, which was nearly every day. There was a period of time for several years where I lived in one city and worked in another, and I had to catch a short 35-minute flight to there. It wasn't convenient to move and a bunch of other reasons, but I had to catch an airplane every morning, so I had to be at the airport at a certain time, no question, because they weren't waiting, right? Wow. And the whole time, getting up, getting ready, getting to the airport, riding on the plane, trying to sleep a little bit more on the plane, slogging my way into the day, anything but creative. So I lived that way for years. Yuck. So now let's talk about what else to do. You're a genius, you're divine, and you're creative. Do you prepare yourself in the morning? Do you reconnect with the divine? Do you reconnect with your creativity? How would I do that, you say? Well, I don't know how you would do it. I can tell you how I do it. I talked a little bit about morning routines. The reason for a morning routine is to create myself. I wake up an empty slate. Now, if my old habits are bad, then I have to mitigate those, eliminate those. And in that series I did a little while ago about 12 steps to have miracles every single day, one of the things was ignore the irrelevant and delay or, brook no internal nonsense and, ignore, I said that already, ignore irrelevant things and affirm my commitments and stuff like that. Go back and listen to those 12 in sequence, 3 weeks ago maybe. But today we're talking about genius creativity. Well, your genius and your creativity came from the Creator. So first, reconnect with your Creator. Now, I don't know how you will do that. I pray and meditate. And I don't quit prayer and meditation until I feel I have reached that state of connection. A direct, inspired, beautiful, light-filled, breathtaking connection every single day. Now, that can't come easy. It came with a lot of work and a lot of practice. But the rewards are infinite, because that means I get to start every single day with the light of heaven and inspiration glowing strongly in my eyes and my head and my heart. Now, if you want to talk about what I do to create that, I'll be happy to share it. I'm not going to do it just because maybe you don't want to know. But point is, create a habit, experiment with meditation, prayer, reflection, silence, a walk in nature, do whatever it is. Byron Katie takes those walks and says, treat everything brand new. Nothing has a name. See everything with new eyes for the first time. Well, there's super power in that, because if you don't have any names for anything, that goes internal to, I don't have any judgments about my emotion. I don't have any thoughts about, oh, it's hard, or this thing's good or bad. I just start innocent. And that innocence is the foundation for creativity. Think of a kid, a youngster that hasn't been ruined yet. They approach everything with joy and boundless optimism and creativity, right? Play for hours with sticks and rocks and just the smallest of things in full and complete joy, and create whole worlds. I did that growing up. I'm sure you did, more or less also. So step one, connect with the source of creation, which is the divine. That step is more important than anything else. You can claw creativity out of leftovers if you want to. What you thought before, what you had before. Inspiration. Artists talk about the muse, and, you read Pressfield's books of Turning Pro and The Artist's Journey and The War of Art and all the rest. They say the same thing. Get up, focus, get to work, and insist on connection. So that is step one. Connect with your divine source. However you picture that to be. You and I both know there is a higher power. Some call it higher consciousness, higher self. Well, if it's there, knock on the door. Bash the door down. Go in and bask and live and exist in that place of connection. Not once in a while, but every day, as a part of your self-creation process. That single step, developing your own process, it's not some rote mumbo-jumbo. It is a living, breathing process that you will create. Now, that's one of the most fun things I do with clients, is help them create their own truth, their own document or set of practices that for them lands them in a place of powerful love and creativity. So that's step one. Get up and do that every day. Now, you may have to adjust the time you get up and the time you go to bed and a bunch of other stuff in order to create the time. But the idea, I don't have time, well, then what that means is you're rolling into your day with your pants down, half awake, half prepared, half connected. Why would you do that? And especially, why would you do it day after day after day after day? When you think about it, it's like, I don't know. Why would I do that? I wouldn't. I'm done. Boom. You can start today. It won't finish today, and it won't be perfect today or tomorrow or next week or next month. But it is the effort, acknowledgement of your divinity, the effort to connect with the divine that will spark your genius creativity every time, every day. It's not something that just happens once in a while. There need be no such thing as writer's block, painter's block, musician's block. No such thing. The divine doesn't experience that. You are divine. Our work is to learn to connect with that source. So there's lots of parts to my morning routine. I just looked at the document. There's 10 parts, and it's on 11 pages. Now, the font is not small. It's written in flowery stuff sometimes. But it's fabulous. It's powerful. And the more important thing is it works every day, every time, without fail. And when I was building it and it didn't work, I would fix it until it did. Because you can always say, it doesn't work. Or it might work for somebody, but not for me. Well, then you've decided I'm settling. What you're really saying is I'm settling for mediocrity. I'm settling for a lack of genius creativity. I'm settling below the truth of the single line of my pedigree, which is God. Well, you're free to do that. This is my encouragement, because this 50 million, road to 50 million, is to help 50 million. You, right here, right now, discover your divine gifts. And I've talked this whole time about the effort to make that connection every day. And there's lots more to it. We'll talk about that more another time. But the best morning routine for genius creativity is connect with the infinite every day, first thing, as soon as your eyes open. What I notice is even before my eyes open now, as I'm floating up through consciousness, I feel that connection forming. And it's just like any other habit, right? Your mind and your heart and your spirit get trained to do that first, to yearn, to reach, to feel that. And it starts every day. And then I lean into it furiously because I love the way it feels. I love the results it produces. So the best thing you can do in the morning, first thing, is figure out your way to connect with the divine. So this is an invitation. If you'd like my help, I'm happy to do that. I have been successful at creating that for myself and many others. It took a lot of work, a lot of experimentation, and I can save you a lot of trouble and time. When you connect with genius creativity, you make more money, you make it easier, your day feels good, everything is fun, and there are no obligations, and you never feel during the day like, everything's exciting. And that might sound like a mouthful, but it's true, and you can have it. Here's the key. Are you willing to open the door? I'll see you tomorrow on the road to 50 million.